Welcome back to the martinliedtke channel. Good to see you again today, guys. Got a mind-blowing presentation for you here today, and they're going to have to rewrite the history books because they've been telling lies. This is a picture here of the events of 1906, San Francisco, the great earthquake of San Francisco. And I've got literally hundreds and hundreds of images of this event, and something has been bugging me for the longest time. Now, there was supposed to be an apocalyptic earthquake. If you can see this picture here, and all you see in the foreground, in the back of the picture, is a smoke screen. And what you don't see really is any flames, and the buildings are all intact. And then last night, whilst going through my Google images, these cards, these are out of a book, and I have these since at least 2018. They're a book of rare images of the events of 1906 in San Francisco, and they are not AI. They've been in my pictures since at least 2018, 7 years. Okay, so again, with the smoke screen, let's have a little look at this picture. You can see flames coming out at the top of the call center. The call center caught a light from above rather than below. So the flame started in the roof rather than down in the bottom, which is really unusual, sort of suggesting the heat's coming from above. Again, no real evidence of fire, just a crazy smoke screen. But the city is intact. And there is no evidence whatsoever for any earthquake in these pictures. Pray tell, somebody explain to me what the hell is going on. So there's a crowds of people out in the streets. You can see wondering why their city's on fire. I can't see any evidence of any earthquake whatsoever in these pictures, guys. And what's crazier is this. Check this out. You see this building here? This is the synagogue in San Francisco. Note the castellations here and the onion domes, but you can see these little bits sticking up. Okay, just note that in your mind, this synagogue. So yeah, no earthquake has happened there. No rubble. Everybody's out in the street. All the buildings are intact. Okay, can you see that? The buildings are intact. People are out in the parks to keep away from what looks like fire. But guys, the buildings are intact. And that is on April the 18th, 1906. Again, with a smoke screen. Again, all of the buildings intact, guys. Okay. All of the buildings are intact here, okay? And the churches, and you can see people on the roof here. I'm sure that's not very safe if there's been earthquakes and then following smaller earthquakes, apparently, again with the smoke screen and all of the people out on the streets. Now, what is crazy weird about all of this will come apparent in a second. This church here is the synagogue that you see here. Note the castellations, note the top bits where the onion domes are, okay? And here it is in a book, and they say, San Francisco earthquake, April the 18th, 1906, the synagogue on Shutter Street, an old landmark, totally wrecked. They're claiming that this is totally wrecked. It's the same church, 100%, in an earthquake. When in this photograph, there is no earthquake, guys. So it is safe to presume that they've blown the city up. There's been some explosions, or they've just burnt it all. How are they doing that? Okay, well, let's get back to this picture. This picture is from a high elevation. I've looked on the maps and on some pictures I'm going to show you shortly to try and see if they're in a high tower taking this picture. But it doesn't appear to be any high tower in this vicinity, the city. Maybe they're from the top of a church that is still standing, but it would have to be as high as the call tower. I think they're in a dirigible, a balloon. This is 1906. They're not. There's no aeroplanes in service at this point in time, apparently. The Shitty Hawk has only just taken off, and the Wright brothers. So there's no planes. So the only thing in the sky that's taking photographs, as I will prove in this post, is dirigibles or Zeppelin balloons. Balloons are the transport of the day in this era, and they are up there taking photographs. Okay. Now, they are claiming with this booklet that this damage is caused by an earthquake. The Hall of Justice, the antiquitech that is fitted in this Hall of Justice building. You can actually see it all. So they're claiming an earthquake. They're claiming an earthquake on that, even though in a photograph I just showed it is standing and nothing wrong with it. And then the utter devastation, the ruins of St. Patrick's Cathedral, nothing left of it. And it only looks like it's just happened. James Flood building, absolutely apocalyptic scenes, guys. And I'm going to show you something in a minute that is going to turn your blood cold like it did mine. The penny dropped last night and I haven't even slept properly thinking about all this. How can it be, guys? Just think about it. They're saying there was a giant earthquake and photographs are showing no buildings are destroyed at all. And then suddenly all of the buildings are destroyed or impact. You know, to look at this building of the City Hall, it looks like a blast wave has hit it from this direction and just taken all of the paneling out of the tower. Even this bottom bit looks like it's coming from this direction. Like a blast wave, like a bomb. The military are on the streets and they're at camps, but it still doesn't answer the question of, as you will see later in a little bit of film that I'm going to show, there is people in charge, military, and people with white sachets on their hats, white ribbons on their hats. And I think there was martial law imposed, and there were a number of FEMA camps set up the exact same day. That still doesn't explain, and we're going to see a bit later. This is just spooky. There is the back of the synagogue. Note to the castellations, the onion domes are gone. The core tower itself, considering it was supposed to be on fire, looks remarkably well intact and no blackening whatsoever. I don't know what to make of that because I've got pictures of it on fire. Maybe a little, not really, a few black bits there, yeah. So that is on Market Street. And we see a lot of new buildings here, like tower blocks and skyscrapers that are being built, which just seem to be unharmed. The red brick stuff or the brick stuff, because brick actually burns, guys. This is a thing. Brick's a highly flammable substance. And can you just imagine? I can smell the smoke in my mind. Can you just imagine? You have to dig bunkers, the ordinary people. And then that is in the foreground. It's like a horror movie, guys. So these are the people that live there then, yeah? And then the rest are staying in FEMA camp tents, right? Let's look at, this is looking up towards Nob Hill, you can see there. Let me show you a picture of from looking forward to Nob Hill in a minute. And it is just crazy, absolutely crazy. Look at this, guys. This is a panoramic Remember the first photograph, everything is still intact in that photograph except for everything beyond Market Street. Now look at this. It looks like Tokyo 1945. It looks like Hiroshima. There's nothing here, guys, except for these big stone and concrete things that survived whatever they say it was. They say it was an earthquake followed by a firestorm. Firestorm caused by oil lamps falling. Oh my God. Oil lamps falling and burning down the rest of the city. Look into the foreground, please. There's nothing as far as the eye can see, guys. Never mind the city bit. Beyond there, there's nothing as far as the eye can see. Nothing. Just empty city blocks where there was once buildings, because fire reduces giant buildings to dust. Also, because brick is highly flammable. Okay, so these, I get that these are the ordinary folk that live there. They're doing their own washing, doing their own bit of food in what is a charred wilderness, because the city has been on fire. There's trees, though. They seem remarkably well unharmed. It's early spring or 18th. These should be in, this is San Francisco. They should be in bloom. Okay, let's move on. So, yeah, you see some photographs of these camps, etc. There's supposed to be 100 FEMA camps. These are, this is on Market Street, looking down towards the hotel. And you can see people are just looking on the floor for somebody lost their contact lens, maybe. It's hard to say, but they're all looking on the floor and picking stuff out off the floor. He's collecting it and putting it in this jar. Maybe gold coins, eh? Anyway, everyone's in on it. Unusual little scene. And everyone dressed up so well. So they got into cleaning up the stuff straight away. The trams were completely occupied, working the whole time. They never actually stopped. Right, this part of San Francisco here, there's some buildings completely unhindered. And they've set up a rudimentary camp. I wonder how long it took them to put this up. These are sheds and stuff. Look like they've been there for quite some time to me. These sheds look like they've been there a while. This little favela, this little shanty town on that corner where there was once large buildings, I presume. It's just so creepy. And when I found that picture last night, I was like, uh-oh, this is a significant picture. This proves that they're telling us lies about history. So all of these men are looks like they are under gunpoint for some reason. There's men with guns. Maybe martial law, yes, is imposed, but these men here are all queuing for what? And there's guards watching them, and another guard there just watching these men queuing for food under gunpoint. And where are all the Chinese people? There's supposed to be a lot of Chinese people in San Francisco, but you do not see any Chinese post-event. So I'm guessing these got killed by debris for horses. And the town very much intact. Burning of San Francisco, because that is what happened. So look at the civilians themselves. So I'm guessing they're queuing for some food. Look at that beautiful building and look at them beautiful lampposts. And across the road, my God, how shocking could that be? They wear like woolen shawls, the women. I'm thinking it's a little bit chilly, maybe in April in San Francisco. I remember there's a saying that Mark Twain said the coldest summer he ever spent. No, the coldest winter he ever spent was a summer in San Francisco. That's right. So apparently it's pretty damp and it can be windy, not like SoCal. So these boxes, they're safes. They're safes. They emptied the treasury of $1 million worth of gold. We know that. I've shown that before. And all of these safes were thrown out of windows. Maybe the combustive wave popped them open. You can open a safe by dropping it off a building. There's a policeman in the background, some sort of clean businessman. But all of these were full of money, of gold. And look at that iconic image of the eagle, wings open, the irony, and the city below intacto. And then not intacto. Pray tell. So this is from the tower of the terminus building, the ferry terminus building, which we're going to have a look at in a second. And as you can see, there's people pouring out of it, all looking very smart indeed. They're getting on trams. But what I find unusual is this tower itself only suffered a crack, and they had scaffolding on it almost straight away. Yet everything in front of said tower, which I find really unusual, is gone. Like, gone. Lots of military presence with guns. It's almost like a takeover, and the whole history has been rewritten. An apocalyptic war. This tree, completely fine. The trees don't seem to be. Maybe this is a directionalized heat source from the air that's making this happen. Now, this image here is mind-blowing, and it is San Francisco ruins, excuse me, from the Rumsey Library. And it is just unbelievable. This picture is unbelievable. It shows you in really good HD the ruins taken from a balloon. So we know they're up in the air. Okay, Nob-Hill in the foreground from the Lawrence captive airship, elevation of 1,500 feet on May the 29th. So getting on for a month after the event is this. Now, all of these buildings, here is, let me just move over to Market Street. Here is the coal building in Market Street and this big thumping great building, okay? The direction of that first photo we looked at was from over here. There's nothing standing over here. They would have had to been on this balloon, this very same balloon at the same elevation, I would say, a bit lower, 1,500 feet. The other one was a lot lower. Trees, absolutely fine. Trees, fine. But what got me last night when I was going through this image was the foreground in the back. The city in the distance is missing. Endless streets of nothing. Turn my blood cold. Because it's there in other photographs, guys, and there's no earthquake. Look at that. What have I stumbled upon, guys? All gone. All gone. I'll share this image with you in the descriptions box. You can study it yourself. You can back right up and see great detail. But flipping hell, guys, it's just turns your stomach. Here's before the event. There doesn't seem to be any people actually occupying at this period. I don't know exactly what's going on. If you look at these images here of San Francisco prior to the event, there's no people around per se, guys. It's just empty streets, beautiful antiquitech, etc. Look at this. And looking at the light source, you know, it's not early in the morning. There's a horse and cart there, which has been picked up on the photograph from this high building, or again by a balloon. Taken from the Tower House. Tower House, okay. Taken from the Tower House. Is that where that first snap got taken? So similar elevation? Maybe. So yeah, this is what it looked like before the event, and this is what it looked like when the earthquake was supposed to have happened. Nothing going on. Look at the streets, though. What are they made of? We've got wooden duckboards for pavements, and the buildings are big old townhouses. They look really old as well. Lots of empty lots as well, not yet built in. All right, so let's reduce that down. And excuse me, there are some other snaps of the areas by her. So that was 1878, quite an early pickage, and this, the city hasn't been destroyed yet. But no people around. It's a really big city for this period, though. It looks to have nice gardens and trees, and the weather's looking pretty good that time of year. And a lot of these muddy bits, these lots here. Beautiful little building there. Look at that one with the tower. But a lot of them made of wood, which I'm sure that didn't help with the fire. But that Tatarian feel to the architecture is just unbelievable. So she was a super big, super advanced city with a lot of Tatarian type buildings. And look at these hills, like the streets of San Francisco, a Quimmat in production. Just absolute craziness. Look at it. Anyway, I can share that image with you as well a little bit later. So what I want to show you is this video, no going back a terminal reset I've posted maybe 3-4 years ago. And it shows you another panoramic of San Francisco following the event from an airship, the captive airship again. Captive, what, like captured airship. What gets me is you can see encampments around, but they've already scaffolded out the tower of the terminal building. Now, if you have a look at this photograph, again, it's quite skin crawling, the amount of devastation. Excuse me. But then if you go in the sky, because there's no planes at the time, but they do have these, apparently. And it's taken from, Lawrence captive airship at 3,000 feet. So it was quite busy, these airships. They were like really active while the fire was happening, weren't they? And when the city was all in situ, the Zeppelins or the balloons were up there, weren't they? Taking photographs. Can we presume it was them that did it from above? Them. Can we presume that? Oh boy, oh boy. Some things you just can't unsee, guys. This is actually a gigapix picture. I'm not sure how they did Ultra HD in 1906 from a dirigible, from a balloon, but they did. And you can mag down and you can see singular people on the streets. This is one of the most unbelievable images that I've ever seen in my life. I got it off gigapix. Yeah, it's over 100 years old, 120 years old. So there's the terminal building, the terminal reset. You see a lot of tents and stuff put up at that time, but still don't answer the question of what I'm going to show you shortly. So yeah, it's just utterly skin crawling, that is. Okay, and that was a terminal reset video that I did a while ago. So there is evidence at the period just following 1906, 1915, where they're doing dirigibles in World War I, where they got Zeppelins in the air with high energy, what you might call direct energy weapons, torching cities. like Chicago in 1871. You can see Zeppelins bring death and destruction to heart of London. Zeppelin here, 1914, and the images show you laser beams coming out of them, starting fires here, Calais, and here as well in Great Yarmouth in England. I've stopped right next to this town hall, surprisingly, on Nelson Wharf. Being touched by high energy beams, and also, as you can see here in Calais. So they got balloons up, this is like, that bit is not difficult to work out. Now, I want to show you a bit of footage here. I'm going to have to just stop sharing screen a second to reshare screen, excuse me, of a bit of video we're going to go through. I'm going to wonder what the hell is going on. Okay, this bit of video. So what we see here is Market Street following the apparent earthquake that wasn't. And I want you to keep watching with me and see what we see. So we're going down Market Street towards the terminal building that is very much intact with a crack in it. The color footage that was taken by the Miles brothers 2 days previous to the earthquake, which you can see on the video that will link up below, a terminal reset. The color footage is remade, altered, colorized, but the original footage is crisp, HD, all the cars in the world. You don't see any cars after the event. All the cars have disappeared by then. You don't see any cars torched or even any on the street. Maybe someone can explain why there's all cars in the color footage, but none in the black and white. And the black and white footage is HD. And then you get to this, and it is, I don't know, it's like it's been pulled out of an elephant's bottom. There's something wrong with it. It's grainy. It's terrible. Now, he's in a tram, and there's a lot of debris on the tracks. But what I want you to take note of is these people. These are not the people we see in these tents. These are arrivals. These are people with umbrellas. And keep watching as we get past the call center. Right, there's a load of rubble. Is he going to literally go over the rubble? Because that could derail him in the tram. Actually, he is. No, I think this is not a tram. I actually think that he went round. I actually think that this is on a horse and cart, because there's could be a car. We could be on a car going really, really slow. Okay, so he's not on a tram. This camera. It's just, I got like maybe hours, 2 hours of this sort of footage. It's crazy that they made that much effort to photograph it. The lampposts are fine. The glass in the lampposts fine. All that heat, an earthquake, wouldn't it? No, there was no earthquake, Matt. So the call center, as you can see, beautiful building, that was on fire from above. That was on fire from above, not from below. Right, there's more rubble. And I want you to keep watching, keep watching. So yeah, can you imagine the shock to the system seeing your city in such a devastated state? The wood is amazingly flame-proof, though. As you can see, lampposts, telegraph poles, absolutely fine. Right, we're coming up past the call center now. All right, there's not many people around at the moment. As you can see, there's a horse and cart blocking the tracks out of the way. Just absolute craziness. Now, can you see in the front? Can you see that like line of black? That is a multitude of people that have just come, I'm gathering, from the terminal building, that are pouring into San Francisco. A smoke-filled, smelly, burnt out, apocalyptic environment. And then there's, well, the only way I can say is many thousands of people pouring into the city. Are they tourists? Have they popped over on the ferry from Oakland? What exactly are they doing? Well, I can tell you they're all dressed really nice. They're in mourning clothes, of course, black. And a lot of these military types and these people with white ribbons on their hats, giving them some sort of power. You see one on the right there, and you can see a couple more as we get down there. See that guy there with the white on his hat? I'm gathering that they've been put in some sort of position of power to oversee things. So people just pouring in. Ghostly, it is ghostly and creepy. Lots of ladies all dressed up in their finery. The thing is following an earthquake, there's supposed to be aftershocks. And I'm sure, you know, these buildings are unsafe from this terrible apocalyptic earthquake that never happened. And the aftershocks would make buildings fall. So I don't think that's even safe to walk down Market Street. But here they are. They seem to have a purpose. Nobody's with suitcases, really. There's one lady with a bag. There's a sailor. People from all walks of life, obviously, but they are so well turned out. Maybe they got a laundry set up in the rubble somewhere, and somewhere where they can do men's collars, because men's collars are white and they have starch in them, and a lot of effort has gone into suits and ladies' dresses. But everyone is immaculately turned out. So I'm presuming they've come from somewhere else and not San Francisco. So why are they pouring in? And where are they going to be staying? In the hotels? Oh, maybe they're going to just grab a tent. Are they, with their lovely clothes, they're just going to grab a tent? Is that it? Where are they going? They all look like they got a designation. And what's more, they're not in any shock. No one is looking around. It's like they've seen it all before, or they know what to expect. Because maybe it's happened to other American cities prior to this point, like many of them, or if not all of them. Check this image by you. These two ladies, guys, here. Can you see them? Strike a pose. Wow. Just mind-blowing. So please let me know what you think in comments. Happy Flat Day to you all. And I will be back later. I just wanted to get this video up because I think it's a significant find. And shows that official history is fabricated. This proves it. Anyone wants to prove me wrong, you're well welcome to. That photo is not AI. I've had it years, and it's out of a book of pictures. We've opened Pandora's box. I get a sneaky feeling onto the biggest case that ever was. And I think this is deliberate, which is even more creepy. There's a couple more sailors. And umbrellas as well, so maybe it's raining a little. It did rain, which will help with the dust. But just, where are you all going? I would love to know. Oh, they're all just really happy. Pucker. We're going off to work in an office that's not there anymore because everything's burnt out. The Great Fire of San Francisco. But no earthquake. You got to stick, that guy. And he was like corralling people like they were cattle. Did you see that? Okay, we're coming up to the terminal building. Oh, this is craziness because I posted before that when you get to the terminal building, there's a kiosk that sells tickets and it's not in the right place. It is like they've taken it down like a studio set and put it back in the wrong place. If you look at my Spooky Nuns short from a couple of weeks ago, you can see that it's on this cubicle, this kiosk. It's on the wrong side of this pillar. We'll have a look. People that say that it's running left to right, it's not, because the core building's on the right side of the street as you're walking down Market Street, so it can't be in a reverse image. So it's not that. It's so spooky. gives me an eerie feeling when I watch these images, guys. I just get a really strange feeling. Do any of you? It's like, what the hell is going on? Forget official history. That's bogus. Resets. That's real. Resets of cities the size of this. Major maritime cities, it seems to be a lot of as well. The reasoning. There's them white armbands. There's these guards everywhere. They must have had an army of them. So this kiosk here, do you see this kiosk here? Yeah. If you look, it is on this. This pillar is here, but on other color photos, the pillar is here. And actually makes no sense. It's not the angle the picture was taken at for either. So the ticket booth is closed because the city's gone. Yet everyone seems to be pouring into the city, arriving, the arrivals. Let me know what you think in comments, please, today, guys. And that's just blown my mind. So make sure to subscribe to martinliedtke channel. Much love to you all, and I will be back very, very soon. Whew. Just absolutely mind-blowing, all of that.